Oh shit! Summer 2021 is fitting to be lit. Guess who is a free man now?
A free man? Who?
Nigga, the
Who?
biggest baller of them all. Okay, Bill Gates. Big baller Bill Gates is out
Shut,
here, nigga.
shut up.
Him and his wife divorced. This boy is out here. All right.
Uh,
He finna be out here Gucci belt up. Okay. Bill Gates finna be out here with a Microsoft piece and chain. This nigga's finna be doing big things.
I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. But we'll see. We'll see what Big Bill does.
You gonna see. When Big Bill pull up with Meg Thee Stallion, you gonna see.
We gonna see.
Meg Thee Stallion and Rihanna on his arm.
Oh, that means what's Bill's wife doing?
They're divorced. Who cares?
You should care because Bill's wife getting half.
I don't like white women. I can't.
Bill's wife getting half.
Yeah.
Half?
Getting half.
Half of Microsoft?
I know.
Half? Dog, Bill and his wife have been giving away money for the past decade, and they are still rich. Like every day, they've been giving away money.
They've been giving a lot of money to the blacks. I'm gonna have to really pay attention to his wife.
I don't know. There's an author. She and I can't remember her name. I'll remember it for the next time. She writes about foreign aid in Africa, and her and Bill had an exchange on Twitter. And she has a great book, and I completely agree with her. Where she was like, "Hey, it was real." For lack of a better word, Wakandan-esque, like, stay out of African business. Like, even when you're helping, you're hurting. So, I am not going to be dumb enough to try to simplify her whole book.
I understand.
Into our quick minute intro.
Yeah.
But it's talking about world aid in Africa. It's a good book. It's a really good book.
That's great because Africa is black and beautiful. And Bill Gates, you can help me because I'm black and ugly as ever I stay. Houston down to my socks. Once again, it's another rendition, another episode, another great series of In My Humble Opinion podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Avery Like a Very Nice Guy, also known as Avery Zadius. You can find me on all socials as Avery Zadius. You can find me on the socials as Vince McBands also as well. I think that's my Facebook name too. That's why no job can find me. I'll be looking for Avery. I'm Vince McBands. But it is what it is. I have my brother here with me, one of the greatest writers that I've ever met. One of, because he fights me all.
I don't fight you on.
Shut up. All right, one of the greatest writers I've ever met in my entire life. All right, he's a good dude, a person that helps out a lot of people. He likes to garden in his spare time, ladies, and he's single.
Come down to the Alabama gardens, hang out with the old folk.
Hang out with the old.
Come on, with the old folks, man. We growing tomatoes.
Growing tomatoes.
I don't even know what that's.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't got no gangster shit, so it is what it is.
Man, Alabama gardens.
You know what I'm saying?
We there.
We two boys from Sugarland, man. I'm the Highway 6 god, and that's just divine.
I live next to Energy. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm made it.
Okay,
I'm made it 10.
Where we're from?
I live by K-Rose.
Don't do this.
That's where I live.
I know that's where you are. I live here too.
Nah, was I raised, somewhere else?
Were you raised?
All right, you're right.
You sound like a lot of rappers we know. You be like, nigga, you're from where I'm from.
You sound like the Riley character when Boondocks first moved out, and he was like looking at the street names. He's like, how would be a rapper living on Pebble Hill? Like, yeah, you're right. You're right. It don't sound right.
It don't sound right, but that's it, because that's what we are. You could find Just Divine as Just Divine on Twitter. You could find him also as Dr. Douglas on Instagram. He has a very interesting Instagram. He's going to be putting out a whole lot more articles, because my brother, once again, is one of the best writers. He's the best writer of all time, ever of all time. But, while we're showing love to my bro, I'd like to welcome you guys to In My Humble Opinion. Just, you can listen to us on all streaming platforms. You can watch us right here on YouTube. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you want to be a part of the Humble Hive. I haven't been saying that lately because I forgot. But now that we're back here again, I like to let you know, I mean, if you haven't seen us before, we like to spotlight what's going on in Houston. We like to spotlight the musical endeavors of a lot of the people that are in Houston. And one of the unsung heroes, really, he's a sung hero if you know. But if you don't know, he's an unsung hero. He's a man that is Slimm Thug's official DJ, all right? He's the CEO of Break Them Boys Off Entertainment. So you got to put some respect on his name because he's a chief, all right? He's the manager of one of the funniest comedians, that damn Monty, all right? I've actually got a chance to see him. Funny as hell. And he's the son of a Southern funk player. Didn't know. Learned that from watching friend of the show, Donnie Houston, when he was on there. That was awesome. With this album, The Streets Is Mine, streaming right now. DJ Young Samm, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Young Samm.
Already. That boy with the great intro.
Nah, man.
You did your research, I see.
Man, we gotta pay attention. We gotta but number one, how is it research when we live in the city? And you know what I'm saying? We already know who you are, so it's kind of like, it's not even research, it's just really just being aware. You know what I'm saying? Right. I can't tell you that Slimm Thug is my favorite rapper and not be like, oh, okay. Who are you again? Like, no.
Right. and just all around you friendly. We met each other at a party. And he just got to talking and talking about what you and Slimm have been working on. And you and Slimm and just Boss Hog and what y'all do and with your own group, you guys do a lot. Like, y'all have been doing a lot for the city. I'm not going to lie, though. I hadn't got a chance to catch up on Donnie's latest podcast, that podcast with you. Who's your dad?
Romeo Poet.
Oh, okay. So first off, because we're going back. We're gonna go back and we're gonna talk about the history of you. So tell us about your father, just for audience members that just don't know.
My father is just a rapper back in the days. He used to rap with the Raw Flush. He used to do freestyle battles at the Rhinestone Wrangler. He did music with ESG. He was really like the freestyle king for back in the 80s, and he used like a lot of people will battle rap him at the Rhinestone Wrangler. And like a lot of time they used to go to the Rhinestone just for the freestyle battles because I think they wasn't playing rap music or something. They wasn't doing hip hop, and that was the only hip hop segment.
Yeah.
So they would do the freestyles, and my daddy would always be the one that win the freestyle battles. He used to be going up against Willie D. Yeah. They like good friends. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. When you go up against Willie D, it's gonna be a long night. So I know that your dad had to be on it.
Yeah, he beat Willie D, and that's how they got cool.
Oh, okay.
Not bad. Now, here's a funny thing. I was doing an interview one time, and we ran across Cal Wayne. I think it was at like Bloodbaths. Everybody Eats.
Everybody Eats.
And Cal Wayne had his kid with him, and I always like when I see the rappers when they have their kid, because their kid is almost oblivious to the fact of who they parent is. You know, like he was on a switch, he's chilling. I was like, Dad, your dad is Cal Wayne. He's like, you know, it's like, okay. Yeah, so when you were coming up and you're like, your dad is making his name as this freestyle rapper in the 80s, did you know about any of his musical notoriety or anything like that? Or is it like I'm just in my own world?
I mean, I didn't really know about the Rhinestone stuff until I got older and he told me the stories about it. I was born in '87, so around that time in the 80s and stuff, they was all, you know, already doing their thing. But I started knowing about his music like around like '95 when he did a project called the Southern Funk Players, and they was actually playing a song on 97.9 called Player Haters. And it was like when I heard that, that's when I was lit about it. And then eventually later on, he ended up putting me in the studio at the age 7 and did like 2 records of my own.
Oh, okay. So at 7 years old, that's when you got put in the. You were put in the studio early.
Yeah, because he wrote me my first song at the age 7, It was called a Sugar Daddy. And from there, I ended up doing that record. I rapped that record probably till I was probably like 13 years old. Every year it said I'm only 7 years old, but I changed the date every time.
Yeah. What was that song about? Sugar Daddy.
And it was called the Sugar Daddy. It was talking about me giving candy to girls on the playground and that type of stuff. Yeah, so
you remember any of that? I know you remember them rhymes.
Man, not really. I used to. I can't remember. It was just, I want you more than a Mac. You can some. I'm the Sugar Daddy. Only 12 years old, something like that. I can't really remember, but yeah.
So you are at that age though. Are you thinking, okay, I can really do this. This could become a thing. Are you just like, yo, this is fun. My dad likes this. This is cool.
Nah, I always wanted to be a rapper. That was my dream. So from that day on, I knew that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna do music. So and then eventually it just evolved into other things.
So I mean, and that's the other thing too. So I mean, we know you as DJ Young Samm, and I would describe you as a DJ. You do a lot of curation, like whether it be videos. You're always associated with a lot of finding and discovering these artists and talent and getting them out. So it's not just DJing; it's almost what we would call old school A&R too.
Right.
So what gets you down the pathway where you're like, you know what? I don't necessarily want to just rap. I don't want to do the rapping thing. I want to move more into this business side and the DJing side.
I don't know. I feel like the music, I always still wanted to do it, and I never really just put it down, but I just put it to the side. And it's like the stuff that I was doing as far as videos, a lot of people was hiring me to do it, and then it was making more money, and it was faster money than rap. So I feel like it took less effort to just make beats, do videos and all that type of stuff, and then just put the music to the back burner, because the way the music game is, it's kind of hard to get into it. And you know, you got to go through all the different channels dealing with the politics of things. So it's like, I ain't really want to do too much of it no more. And then, you know, I had people in my circle that wasn't really feeling it. Like they didn't think I should have kept rapping. They feel like I should just be making beats. You know, sometimes people could feel like they see your future for you. You should just do beats. You should just do this here and help me with my music. So stuff like that. So eventually I just put it all to the side, but I never stopped recording music. Like I still got records that I ain't even put out. I got whole albums that I did. So
so you still got albums when you're rapping?
Yeah, I got an actual EP that I just started working on, just on some whole different shit. I just didn't put it out yet.
Okay.
Why not? Come on.
Yeah, it's just like right now, I really just feel like I'm just getting really in tune with myself, as far as like getting back to the whole essence of loving the music, because I've been doing it for so long, and it's like now it's the perfect time to start back putting things out.
Now, when we go back, I mean, let's talk about like getting your start early on. Who were some of the artists that you first started working with when you decided, yo, I'm gonna be a DJ? I'm gonna be a DJ, and you're also doing like creating these videos, you're creating these visuals.
Man, as far as artists, like a lot of the artists came to me because I was either shooting a video or doing something. And then that's just pretty much how it took off, because I always had my own artists. So I had like 5, 6 different artists that I was actually managing, and they was a part of my label. So that was really my main focus. I was putting them out, and I was actually making noise with every artist that I had. Yeah. Like I had a chick named Kanika, and like that was like one of my first artists that I took on, from like to helping her write records to producing the whole project, doing the videos and all that. And with her, she ended up being in a XXL. We ended up getting flew to New York to do shows. So I seen a little success with her. And then it went from me seeing that to, okay, now let me try it with a male artist. And I got a male artist, and it went to a whole nother level to where I ended up meeting Slimm, and they started liking my artists and putting them on stuff. So that's pretty much the first time when I started just dealing with artists. And then after I got rid of the having artists, then I was able to focus more on, okay, let me just focus on myself, and I can help artists on the outside. Because at one point in time, all my beats and everything, all my writing and everything was going to the artists that I was working with.
And let's go back to where we were talking about, like, when you met Slimm. What was it about meeting Slimm where you were like, this is somebody? What was it about Slimm that you're like, okay, this is somebody I'm going to work with in terms of just being a DJ, and the decision to say, man, let me step away from managing so many artists?
Yeah, I mean, with Slimm, it really just happened on his own because I wasn't set to be his DJ or none of that. I was actually working with Killer Leon closely because he's the first person that out of the Boss Hog camp that came to me, and I met him through Kanika. And with Killer, he just took me to the Boss Hog studio and was telling him, hey, this Sam, he do beats, he do mixing and all that, he do mixtapes. So they just put me on as a mixtape DJ. But as I got to doing all they mixtapes, T Gray, which was his DJ at first, he ended up getting too busy. So it was like a big crit tour going on, and they was like, we need a DJ. And I was in the studio working on the mixtape. They were like, Sam, you want to hit the road with Slimm? And I was like, cool. So from there, that's how I ended up actually just being his road DJ. But from before that, it was more so like, I'm the DJ that do his mixtapes. I didn't really hang around or whatever. I would only see him when he come to the studio. But once we got on the road and started hanging around each other, then we started being a little bit more cool. And then from there to being at his house and helping him record. And now I'm doing beats for him. So it was just a whole little process. It took a little minute to get to where it's at right now. And I gave Slimm brother my demo when I was rapping in Guitar Center. And it just so happened that now I end up working with him.
Yeah, you definitely did end up working with him, and you ended up, making beats for him. So what was it like to be able to make the beat for Wishing on a Star?
Man, that Wishing on a Star, I actually made that beat at his house.
Really?
Yeah, and he was like really what we do, we just get over there, chill out, and we smoke and vibe out and listen to different samples and stuff. And he was like, I want to try to do something with this sample, and that's just how it came together.
Okay.
Yep, it is crib.
Hey, you were just talking about, you said you went on tour. That's where y'all really got to know each other a lot better. I think, right. Who was that? So you were on, this was the Big Crit tour.
Right.
Okay, because I think DeLorean had talked about going on tour with Crit as well when we had him on, and getting a chance to see the work that gets done on the road and getting this exposure to a lot of different cities. What was that like going from I'm creating beats and I'm making beats for mixtapes to I occasionally see Slimm to now I'm on a road tour. I'm with Big Crit, I'm with Slimm Thug, where we're going on tour. Tell us about that experience.
Man, it was a great experience because it's like one thing about Big Crit, like you understand why he's at the level that he's on, because he take everything seriously. Like they was at every sound check, like they performance, like they really put a lot into it. And then just being on the road, like waking up in a different city every day, like exploring different things, like it's the best feeling ever. Like I'm looking forward to going on the road again, because and that was an experience that a lot of people would wish they could have got.
Absolutely.
Like we even went to a studio out there and just seeing how Crit was composing the records, like how he just getting in there and just cooking up the beat to him going straight into the booth and coming up with the hook, and just like that dude there definitely an amazing artist.
Oh yeah.
Now, for people that don't know, because he said, like I said, you're more of a curator, not just a DJ. Tell people everything it is that you end up doing in terms of the label, even when we sat down and talked, in terms of a lot of the online stuff that you have to end up doing, in terms of the creation of a lot of these podcasts and shows and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, what's the question again?
I said, well, really, we're just asking you to describe all the stuff that you're doing in terms of curation
Everything that I do. Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Oh man, I do graphics. I shoot videos. I do I guess you would say marketing, online marketing. I do promo. It's so much. Artist development.
Yeah.
I write music. I'm an engineer. I do mixing, do mastering, everything. Like every aspect of the music game, I pretty much learned it all. DJing, everything.
Now, out of all that stuff you're naming, which one do you prefer the most? Like, which one are you most excited when you're like, oh, okay, I'm like, this is what I really want to be doing?
Yeah, making beats, just making beats and creating records. Like that's my main thing. That's the main thing that I love doing. But I also like the creative side of when it comes to shooting videos, like for certain records that I do want to shoot, or even shooting a film or short film. So that's tough.
So I mean, let's also talk about like making records. Talk about the because you just released an album.
Yep.
All right. So you've got this new album out, and like right before when we were just talking, you were talking about what you're looking forward in terms of shooting. Like you have these visions of what you want to shoot for in the song. Tell us about putting this album together, because this is like a collection of old school Houston, current Houston, new school Houston. It's all together because all these people rotate around you. Tell us about what made you decide, like, you know what, I want to go ahead and put this mixtape together, and how'd you decide on who you wanted to have on it?
Man, this is really like a lot of records that I had over the years. Just like I get this, let's just say I got in the studio with Young Montez, and we just knocked out a couple records, and it's like I create the beat first, and then from there I just could hear their voices on certain records, and that's just how I put it together. So it's been like 3 years putting this album together. Like a lot of the beats on there, they probably heard the beat one way, but when it came out, it was a whole different way. And it was just as new to everybody on the project as it was to the rest of the world, because I ain't sent no records out. Like nobody heard it, so when everybody heard it, it was brand new to them also.
Damn, you Dr. Dre them.
It took me like 3 years of completing it though, because I mixed the whole thing by myself. D-Box mastered it. But for so long, I've been trying to like get it to sound how I want it to sound. And when you're being a creative person, it takes you forever to put out stuff because you're constantly critiquing it. Yeah. So it's like on this one here, I had to start bringing in other people to do certain things, like mix certain records for me or master it for me, because at the end of the day, I keep going back and forth on it. And it's like, as I held on longer and longer, it got better and better, because the J-Dog record ain't coming till later. And it's like the Changes record, that one didn't come till later. Like Changes got made last year.
Really?
But a couple of them was made like the one with Trey on there, that was probably like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, all right. So Payback was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, but see, Trey verse might be 2-3 years ago, but somebody else verse might be newer than that. So it's like the whole project was like, I just put it together with like a whole little gumbo or something.
Yeah. It's definitely a gumbo, because you got everybody in here. Even you got Kanika in here. That's what's dope too.
Yeah.
You ain't never forget about your people.
Yeah, definitely. I put everybody up on that mud. And that's why I didn't want to, I really had more songs than that. I still got more records. Records with Boston George, other records with Montez. Like I got a lot of more records, but I didn't want to just crowd it out. It was gonna be almost like 20-some songs.
Yeah.
So when I was talking with my distribution, they was telling me that I should just split it in half, but it's more records to even put out right now.
So what you gonna do with the rest of them records?
I'm gonna probably do a part 2, and that'll probably be my probably end the little series of doing the Streets is Mine, because I'm probably gonna get more back into the musical side as far as me putting out music. So this compilation is, it's a cool little thing, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah,
a whole lot of work, especially when it comes to scheduling. So that's another reason why it kind of take long to get certain videos in order, because you got to get all these artists on the same page. And I kind of peep what Khaled goes through. like when he put Drake on that where he had Drake on the phone or something,
yeah,
and Justin Bieber was playing his part.
Yeah.
Like you have to think of creative stuff like that when it comes to these type of projects. So now I just want to start back focusing more so on my music, or whether it's me doing an EP with one artist, I'm finna do more projects like that.
And people a lot of times don't think about the amount of work that goes into getting all of these people together, because they're like, well, you know them, so y'all just link up whenever, and y'all like, oh, okay, sure. But you said this took over. I mean, this took 3 years to kind of get everything gelled across.
Right. Yeah. It took a long time. Like I got a video right now that's finna come out. Like we shot it like a year or two ago, but we finna finish shooting the rest of it. But it's finna be it's finna definitely heat up the streets. It's the record I got with Propane, Slimm, and Kiki.
Okay.
So I'm definitely I'm finna be pushing this. You probably gonna see a video down there for every song on there.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, they all look like, something that you want to see.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the Blessed. But I know the next record that I'm going definitely to go with is probably Had Nothing. Like that's gonna be the next club banger from me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Not bad. So, Doc, I just forgot my question. How did I forget my question?
It's all right. So, like when you're composing, when you make music, you say you make the beat first. Do you make the whole entire beat, or do you start with just the drums?
I usually start with melody, but lately I've been starting with the drums, because when you start with the drums, I feel like it gives you a better feeling for where you're going. Yeah. And then it's kind of like that's what a lot of the youngsters be doing it. Like as far as the young producers that I've sat around, they be doing the drums first, and I see why.
Yeah, it makes sense, because when you start with melody, to me, when you start with melody, it's kind of like if you're like recording for somebody like Nas or something like that, or if you're recording like it's more thought-provoking, or if it's more R&B influence, melody makes sense. But when you want it to knock, you got to start with them drums. And it sounds like
it makes so much sense. Yeah. Because that controls the whole vibe of it. So if you can control the vibe from the drums and then just throw something on top of it, you can do whatever you want to do, but you got to get them drums tight first.
You got to get them drums tight. So I'm on the computer and you can't punch me now. So what drums are you using?
Man,
are you gonna tell me?
I get different little packs. Like it's really, when it comes to production and drums, it's about what you do to it, because I can give you the drums, but I go inside, I get to tweaking EQs and all kinds of
stacking.
So it's like you never probably would get what I get up out of them. So I really don't even hold back sounds. Like I give them away. Yeah.
Now the other thing too is when you're going through the creation, like y'all have been talking about just laying that foundation of the music. How do you decide who's gonna be on the songs?
I hear their voices. Like a lot of times when I'm working on a beat, I'll be like, okay, I can hit J-Dog on this, or I can hit Slimm on this. So that's just how I do it. Like a lot of the people on there is people that I'm fans of already. I listen to their music. So you on my project, like I pretty much know what you sound right on. And that's like been a gift that I got. Like I see talent. I know who can sound right on what. I know what a hit record sound like. So that's just how I put it together.
Now, the other thing too is, if we're talking back, I mean, just going back, you're entrenched historically in Houston culture, Houston music history. Things have been changing, like as of recently, and you've made sure to stay Houston. Like your mixtapes feature Houston artists, all this other stuff. What have you seen in terms of the musical landscape of Houston? How has it changed in your eyes? Going all the way back from 93, 94, you know what I'm saying? When you're rapping, on your song that your dad made for you, all the way up until now.
I feel like just Houston just didn't evolve as far as like, we still got our sound, but sometimes we got artists that kind of run from the sound. But right now we getting back into our whole style again, to where we done ventured off a little bit, because everybody started sounding like Future, everybody sounding like different people outside of Houston. Now they kind of like taking them styles and incorporating the Houston lingo in with it. So I feel like it's good. It went to a good place. It just evolved. It's still H-Town. they still rapping the same way on there. It might be a little bit faster, it might be a little bit slower, but I feel like it's the same thing. It's just, I feel like the music scene, as far as like the radios, they not really supporting it like back in the day. Because back in the day, you would hear Ghetto Boys, you hear Fat Pat, you hear Mo, you hear all those people on 97.9 or all the radio stations. It's like now, the Houston music scene, it ain't really just got no home-based sound. Like when you in Cali, you know you in Cali.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so other than that, like, it's evolving pretty cool.
That's true. That's true. And the other thing too is, I mean, you're able to, like you said, the radio is different around here, but the internet helps out a lot because you guys are able to move, put out videos, and all this other kind of stuff. I mean, y'all stay independent, for the most part. Has it always been? I guess has it always been your goal to stay independent? Is it your plan to stay independent this whole time and build up, or what?
I always wanted to have a deal, but I also always wanted to be the boss and run things how I want to run it. So I don't know. I feel like it's just my mind frame kind of put me into that position to where I feel like people wouldn't even come at me and want to sign me or ask me to be a part of their label because they already felt like I've always been putting myself in that position. Like I always been breaking boys off ENT. I always been the CEO, even when I ain't have a DBA or anything. I always felt like I was the CEO. So, and then just being around Houston legends like Slimm, them, like it's easier to do it. I mean, I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's more relaxed when you're doing it on your own because you ain't got to worry about nobody else messing over you. Because at the end of the day, that's what the music industry is. You're gonna get in the game and you're gonna get messed over. Like, it's not gonna work out in your favor all the time. Like, it just don't happen, not for new artists.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I guess the other thing too is, as a DJ, how has it been dealing with these last year and a half of COVID, of just working with the pandemic?
Man, what I had to do was I had to really just go hard on my mixtapes. I started going hard on mixtapes. I started working on other things that, like, as far as like staying home, like, you know, everybody been home. So I started doing a lot of YouTube. So I've been building up content throughout all that to where now I'm finna just really focus on my YouTube channel. And that's what I feel like COVID did for me. And then I ended up started doing the live DJing. And, you know, it helped me tighten up on my skills even more because now you're sitting at home and you're DJing all the time and you can't do nothing but do it from in front of your phone. So, you know, it made you put a lot of more hours in.
Okay. And then, I mean, we just saw you guys at the Texas Smoke Break. Right. What was it like? That, to my knowledge, is one of the first major concerts that was here in Houston. Right. That was at White Oak. Where people could actually come outside. What was it like finally being in front of an audience and being able to perform out there?
Oh man, it felt good. Actually, we had a show before that. I forgot where we had it at, but we had a show before that, and it was a cool little crowd. But that right there was like one of our livest shows as far as with the lineup. It was a nice lineup. I felt like it felt good to be performing back in Houston.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was gonna say, and we kind of talked about it right before. I mean, how did you feel about White Oak did a social distancing seating grid thing where
lovely.
For an audience it was fantastic. For the audience it was great. You come in, you sit down, or you go to your little area. It looked like a club section that was on the yard. You order your stuff, it all come out or whatever. Now, from a performer's perspective, how did you feel about just the seating situation?
Yeah, we didn't really like it because we like for the crowd to be able to come up close and actually feel the energy. So it seemed like everybody was kind of laid back and chill. Like, even though they bobbing their head, but it ain't the same thing when you're on your feet and your hands is up and, you know, you turning up with them. So I feel like it made everybody just too relaxed.
Okay,
even though it's a smoking show.
I'm about to say we got.
It is gas guns.
Only because they had a brunch as well earlier in that week, and Jack Freeman performed at that brunch I don't know if it was the seating that had everybody relax.
Oh,
right.
yeah, they infused something.
Man, every time he said, "How y'all feeling out there?" there might have been a 7 to 10 second delay. Like the whole audience was like, "Yeah, we're good." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
That might have been the reason why.
Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah. Everybody high.
Yeah.
What I guess what are your plans now? Because you're in album mode right now. The album is out. Like, what are some of the things that you plan on coming out now that, you know, Houston is open, Texas is open, the world is open, people vaccinated? Like, what are your plans now with the promotion of this album?
Man, the plan right now is to continue shooting more videos. You know, I got OG Run C supposed to be doing a chop and screw version. So we're waiting on that to come out with it. But I'm finna really just continue on these visuals. Like these next couple visuals finna be something really special. Like we really finna put our time and effort into it. Like the J-Dog video, you know, that was just a little intro, but we finna give y'all some videos that's really gonna have you going back and say, I gotta play it again. That's the plan.
You know what, we had talked earlier, but and I always just feel like no matter what, no matter how many flowers he gets, J-Dog don't get enough. Like there's no getting around it. He's just got a style and an energy that's about him. So tell us about working with J-Dog, putting together that song intro, and why you reached out to him.
Actually, it's crazy how that record came together. We was actually working on, me and EXO was in the studio, we was working on J-Dog's album, because that record was supposed to be for the album. Yeah. And he gave us, Rayface gave us like 3 different records because J-Dog would go record somewhere else and they don't like the beat or something like this, so we had to remake the beat up under it. So that with that record there, we just took it and remade the beat up under it, and J-Dog ended up not even using it for the album, so I was like, let me get that record. And let me just keep it in. Because I already had the files and everything too, so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out on my project. So that record there, it actually had 2 hooks on it. It had one hook with a guy named Kez on it, and it had another hook with another chick I was on record with, Tierra. So it's like I didn't like neither one of the hooks. They didn't turn out how I wanted to turn out. So I just ended up just making it the intro and kind of giving it like that whole Meek Mill build-up type, Nightmare type of feel. And it's crazy because the intro at first, it was that. And then I switched the intro to Changes because Changes was supposed to be the intro too. So
it sounded like an intro.
Yeah, but I took it back to the J-Dog because I like the J-Dog just gave you that feeling of like when it come on, it's gonna make people actually turn it up and want to pay attention. And I just put Changes like towards the middle, almost like an interlude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now the other thing about it is because you DJ and you're just out here and you're constantly listening to so many artists. Who are some of the artists in Houston, especially like the newer artists that you're really looking at right now?
Man, I pretty much rock with OTB Fastlane. That's one of the main artists. Who else I be listening to out here? I listen to a lot of Propane. Who else? As far as new artists, Marcus Clay, definitely like got to tap in with him because everything he put out, he jamming on. And he just been dropping singles lately. But yeah, Marcus Clay. Right now, it ain't too many more buzzing out. Right now, I feel like a lot of the ones that's been out, now they done found themselves and they basically popping back out. Because you got Young Martez, you got Sasha Monroe. That's a new artist that I'm working with, female artist. She just dropped a project right now called Unleashed. And I produced 2 records on her project. And then who else out here that I've been working with? I work at 281 Studios. I be engineering there, so I run across a lot of good artists there. It's a dude named Just Corey. He do singing and he do rapping, and he very talented.
Wait, what's his name?
Just Corey.
Just Corey? Just Devon. See, look at you.
I'm Just Devon. Just Corey.
Yeah. Okay, you're bullshit, nigga. Like you could have been singing and rapping. But what did you decide to do?
Fuck out of here.
Then you got Strict Grind Wi-Fi. We from the same hood. Yeah, he been doing his thing. So it's a lot of artists doing their thing, but I feel like a lot of the ones that's already had a buzz is just popping back out. Like Cal Wayne just dropped a new project.
Yes.
So yeah. Stunner Bam. That's another one. Like, I feel like he you know, he had his shot back then with the record on that was Buy What I Want.
Yeah.
With Rich Homie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like he actually had his whole run. So now, you know, he's back reinventing himself. So I feel like right now with him getting down with 1501.
Yeah,
I feel
Eric
like
Banks on that.
Yeah. So I feel like he another one to watch out for. Like he's gonna get that second chance as far as getting that buzz again.
Yeah.
And Young Al, he just sent me his whole EP. And he got some jamming music.
Nice.
Young Martez got a new record out right now. So it's a lot of them that's popping back out right now. And just me, I'm popping back out too, because I was living in Dallas and now I'm back here in Houston, like fully. So now I got a new spot I'm doing on Sunday. It's called the Red Dwarf Vibes on Sunday. And it's like now the artists are starting to reach back out to me to get their records played. So it's gonna be a lot of new heat finna be broke in the city. I feel like that's really what's been missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where you at on Sundays?
It's called the Red Dwarf. It's off of McGowan and Fanning.
All right. What time do you usually be there?
3 to 12.
Okay.
It's like a whole day party.
Just want to make sure that everyone knows so they can show up and show love. That's what's up.
Yeah.
What took you to Dallas, and then what brought you back?
Man, 2017, man, I just was like going through a whole lot of different stuff or whatever, like, you know, depression, all kinds of stuff. So I had to, I just wanted to change the scenery.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like I needed to go somewhere else where I can just kind of, you know, focus on myself or whatever. And then I went out there and actually stayed with my old man. So me and him got way more cooler because, you know, I didn't grow up in the household with him. So it's like we got to really bond and just really hang out. And, you know, just being out there in Dallas, it was just me and him pretty much, but I was more so by myself because he worked so much. So I'll just be out there working on beats, just really focusing on just everything that I do as far as making beats, creating new music, DJing. So I was doing a lot of mixtapes from Dallas. So like my audio Mac was like over 1 million streams from just doing mixtapes because I would drop like 2 or 3 mixtapes a month. And that would be a rap, a R&B, and just a different kind with like probably slow jams and all that. And that just started really just taking off for me to where I created a wave to where I could just sit in the house all day and just make beats or do mixtapes. And I got paid off for doing stuff like that. And just sitting in Dallas. And then I got a chance to meet a whole lot of new DJs, radio personalities. I actually had a homeboy out there named DJ Q. And he did like he do a lot of the Dallas clubs out there, and like going out every week with him, he got to introducing me to all the different Dallas DJs and radio personalities. So it was like, I just went to Dallas and networked to where I was able to build a whole little networking thing out there with a whole different city. And like nobody knew me really out there, but when I went with Q to his clubs, he introduced me and they just showed number love out there. Go to clubs, it's just, they buying drinks, everything. Like it's just showing so much love in Dallas. So like now that's like my second home.
Now, what was that like too? I mean, it's almost like full circle now. You being out there getting closer with your dad. What's his view of your career? Like he got you started and now he can see what you're doing now.
Yeah, he really was amazed by it because he was like, everybody that he talked to, like he would talk to Willie D and all of them would be mentioning me and he'd be like, dang, that's crazy. I'm hearing your name all over the city. Like you really the man out there. Yeah. Because a lot of the OGs, I actually work with them. Like I work with a whole lot of OGs in the game. So they didn't even know that he was my dad. He just sometimes it'll slip out and they be like, what? That's your old man? So yeah, he definitely was hearing about it.
Does he still got it? You gonna put him on a record?
Yeah, he still got it. I actually produced a record for him while he was out there. He recorded it or whatever. I recorded him, but he more right now, he's into the franchising business. So he haven't really just got back on the music scene, but he wanted to do a documentary. So we kind of been dibbing and dabbing with the idea of doing a documentary because he actually got a full project he did, but he was one of them artists, like he didn't want to sign with nobody and he didn't want to be messed over when it came to his music. So he ended up holding on to it to where he never dropped it.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but he got so much history, like just being out there with him. He got ADAT still with records on ADATs. Like
ADAT.
Yes, like he got all his music. That's and he got so much history. But once he got off the music scene, he didn't actually leave it. He went to doing like the Bob Marley festivals. He got more into like the island side of the music. So he put out a couple projects, but they was just more so like local projects, and it was reggae music other than doing rap. But he still freestyles. Like you throwing a beat right now, he gonna freestyle and he'll talk about everything in the room.
Y'all ever battle?
Nah, say I ain't no freestyler.
Oh, okay.
I used to be, but I ain't even no freestyle. It's like, you know, when it comes to freestyling, you mess around and lose it if you don't do it all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
you need to have a record for him.
Now, are you gonna I mean, you can make this full circle. I mean, he put you in the studio. You can put it. Are you gonna sign your dad and put
a record for him?
He said he don't trust nobody, but he gotta trust you.
Yeah.
Right.
Sugar daddy too.
Now, look, I told him, I say, as far as like putting out records, because you know he did a lot of reggae records. I was telling him like I can run them through distribution or whatever, because you know he used to the oldest way things used to go. So it's like now everything went to streaming, and you can just take your music, like even his older music, he can upload it to the streaming platforms. But right now we want to focus on the documentary. So that's something right now that's kind of in the vault. We've been talking about it. We can jot it down ideas, and we can map the plan. Now it's just all about doing the filming aspect of it. But it's just like my hands be so full with everything, man. I'm working Slimm project right now. At the same time, trying to work my own project. And then I got people on the outside that want to get videos and stuff done. So it's so much I want to do with so less time.
That's true. Tell us about what did you wind up doing for Slimm? You talking about the last project that just came out? The
SDS Vibes.
So SDS Vibes, like tell us about that and what part did you play in that and what you produce on there?
Man, I produced 6 tracks on there. I produced the Knocking on My Door. I produced what's the other ones on there? Really, the whole first number 1 through 5 I produced, and then I did the number 7, I think. But yeah,
That's Pussy?
Huh? No, not Best Pussy. Mr. Lee did that one, and Cam Wallace produced with me. So yeah, what I did Don't Sleep, Knocking on Your Door.
You did No Pressure. Did you not do No Pressure?
Yeah, I did No Pressure.
That's what I know.
Yeah. Yeah, only ones I didn't do was Black Queen, Best Pussy, and With Me Tonight. Okay. I didn't do those.
Because I was like, hold up.
Yeah, but the way we kind of came over there, it was just, you know, I was staying at Slimm House a lot too. Once when I was living in Dallas, I come to Houston, I just stay at Slimm House and you know, just be producing, doing different tracks. And usually the way Slimm does is he'll say he like a beat, but he'll just take it, put it to the side, and don't really come back to it. Then I just came to the house one day, and he was like, "Yeah, I did this one, and I did this one, and I did this one." I was like, "Damn, you working?" So from there, we end up just adding more records. So now we already started on King of the North too, and I got records on that already.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's definitely gonna be a King of the North too.
Yeah, definitely. He already got the intro to it and everything. I think the intro record is the record I produced. So yeah, it's definitely coming.
Man, and y'all heard it here on In My Humble Opinion. Slimm Thug coming out with that King of the North, and that's awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
And I know he's gonna have a lot of people on there because Slimm always has so many people on his albums.
Yeah.
Usually, and not you know what I'm saying? Like he'll do one on his own, and then he'll turn around and have a tape, and it's just
right.
Who's Who in Houston.
Yeah, definitely on this one, he gonna have features on it, different H-Town features, because that's pretty much the theme of King of the North. It's like him doing kind of like a underground sound.
Yeah.
As far as like the beat selection, but then he actually incorporating a lot of Houston artists on it.
Yeah, that's what makes it so tight. It's some you guys always reach back, man. Speaking of reaching back and just doing stuff during quarantine, how did you link up with that damn Monty? Like, what's that about?
Man, Monty is actually, he used to be a rapper too. So
Okay.
I met Monty through my cousins. We had a group called All American Assholes.
AAA. Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a group and Monty was part of the group. Before I got in the group, he was already a part of it. They all went to Nimitz High School. So I just ended up seeing Monty. When I first met him, we went to a talent show. You know, at talent shows, you got some acts that's good, you got some acts that's bad. So he was the guy there to go. We'll be going there to go perform and open up for somebody, and he'll go to the front of the stage where the other opening act said. He'll just be bobbing his head. They'll be whacking everything, but he'll be bobbing his head and making them feel like they really doing something. And I just knew that he was a clown from that day on. I was like, this guy here is a clown, like he tripping. So, and he's always been that guy that like stood out. Like back then, before anybody was wearing polos and shorts above the knees, he was the guy that walked into the hoodest club. We had a club called Motions. So if anybody know Motions is like the north side, like over 1,500 people every Sunday, and it's like real hood and ghetto. But Monty would come in there in a whole pink polo outfit, like, and everybody like, look at this guy, like, why is he doing like? But that was just his little thing. Like he liked to make people feel like, okay, who is this little friendly guy? But at the end of the day, he had the street credit or whatever, but he was just a funny guy with it. And like after meeting him like through that, as far as like with the AAA stuff, he just started we started hanging out a little bit more, and he wanted to do some comedy. We was like, let's try some skits. Let's try to do like some Dave Chappelle type stuff. So that's really how he started out. He started out doing like some Dave Chappelle skits. And then from there, we did like his first comedy show. And the first comedy show, he stayed on stage for like 45 minutes. That's his first show out the gate. And after that, we just started doing our own shows. Like every year we did a comedy show for him, and he was the headliner, and he would let people open it up for him. And it's like now he got into a whole different ball game. Now he reached out with working with Trey now. So that just took it to a whole nother level. But yeah, me and Monty, we've been bros for a long time. Like I guess you would say this is childhood stuff, because the AAA movement, that was back when I was in high school. So yeah, and he started off a rapper and he ended up transitioning to doing comedy.
Would you say that you have like an eye for talent, or just talent finds you? Because I mean, with everybody that you're around, they on a scale of 1 to 10, they're all 25s.
Man, appreciate it, man. I feel like I can make damn anybody a star. If I feel like you got something in you, as far, let's just say from your looks to your style, it's something we can do with it. Whether I can make you a comedian, whether I can make you a fashion person, like I feel like I just know how to find talent in anybody. If they got a gift, I can capitalize on your gift.
Can you turn Just Devon into a rapper?
No.
If it's in his heart, I can.
I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not in my heart. Well,
see,
you know
that's my thing. Like anybody that I work with, it's always had to be serious. Like we ain't played no games. When he say he want to do comedy, we went full production mode, like writing the scripts, everything.
Well, it depends. You know what? If you put me in the studio the way your dad put you in, you have somebody to write something for me. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I.
We got ghost writing and everything.
Now, I mean, when you say that, how can people now? Because the talent can find you. How can people find you? Where should people go to find all the stuff about DJ Young Samm?
And they can go to djyoungsamm.com. And that's gonna take you to everything, to the YouTube, to my daily post. I actually get on there. I blog a little bit. So yeah, pretty much djyoungsamm.com. That's where everything is at. And then my Instagram, DJ Young Samm 713. So yeah.
Goddamn Sam.
Absolutely, man. Look, we appreciate you coming out, dog. We just
appreciate y'all having me.
Yeah, man. We like all the Houston people that are gonna, that show support. And like you said, we met and you were real open. And it was, I will say this too, just because we exchanged numbers and you were like, yo, link up with me. We'll get it together. And we just kind of lost contact. And then you text me like, hey man, look, I'm on tour. Like, I got a whole bunch of stuff I got to do, but I didn't forget about you. And I really appreciate that because some people
Right.
get a number and be like, whatever.
That's real.
Yeah, yeah. Man, when I tell you, I be trying to line up everything. There's so much I want to do, but I just don't be having the time. And at the end of the day, it's like, I like it when people be patient with me because I might tell you somewhere, I might not get back to you probably about 6 months down the line, but it's on my mind. It's just, I'm trying to line up everything how I need to go.
Hey, I appreciate it. We definitely appreciate it. We just thank you for coming on.
Yeah, that's real to me, man. That's real as hell that you got back in touch with us and just to let you know what's going on. Like that to me is the definition of really being real. Once again, want to thank you for being able to appear on the podcast. In my humble opinion, if you want to be down with the Humble Hive people, you got to remember you gotta like, share, and subscribe. And I've been Avery, like a very nice guy, Avery Zadius, and I've been with my brother, Jess Devon, humbly yours, in my humble opinion. H-Town, it's too sweet. H-Town's too sweet.